A really, really warm welcome to you all. Thank you so much for coming along today and for being here. I'm very excited to share this little mini dreams workshop where we focus on bite-sized aspects of dreams and with the ultimate aim of helping you to understand your own dreams. And so if you're watching this on YouTube, then a very warm welcome to you as well. And if you enjoy the session, then please like and subscribe to the channel and you'll be notified of more videos like this. And we meet every month, the last Tuesday in every month. And so this month we are looking at the meaning of numbers in dreams. It's an interactive session. So if you've got any questions, please raise your Zoom hand or type your question in the chat and Leanne will coordinate that. Thank you so much, Leanne, for coordinating that as we go along, and I will do my best to answer you. And if you're watching on YouTube, then feel free to put your comments in the comment section or your questions in the comment section, and I will reply back to you as quick as I can. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ollie. I'm a holistic counselor, I'm a healer. And one of the ways I help people to move forward in their life is through their dreams. My passion for dreams started in 2018. I've been studying the work of several dream teachers since then, and in particular, Michael Sheridan, who I rate as a particularly gifted dream interpreter. He runs a weekly podcast, he's written books, and he does courses free and paid. Really, really worth checking him out. And a lot of what we'll cover today is actually from his work and his teacher before him, George Radigan. So without further ado, let's dive in and find out how numbers can give us some really interesting clues to help us understand our dreams. So the numbers that appear in dreams have a similar meaning to the numbers that are studied in numerology, the study of numbers and the meanings behind numbers. And numerology dates back thousands of years. However, the archetypal meaning of numbers in dreams tend to be a little bit more specific. Numerology is quite a broad, has some very broad descriptions of numbers, but in dreams they tend to be more specific, and we'll be looking at those in detail. Numbers are often used to indicate a particular age of the dreamer, when some kind of conditioning or trauma, some kind of childhood trauma usually, that needs healing occurred. So for example, 3 women standing behind you would refer to an issue that you picked up from your mother at the age of 3, where behind you in this case is in the past. Combinations of numbers are really useful as well, because we can build those together to build up the message of the dream. And with all of these things, the numbers have to tie into the subject matter of the dream so that we can make a whole story and link everything together. So we're going to take a look at all the numbers meanings now. So let's start off with the number 0. And this is the perfect symbol. It's no beginning, no end. And so it's quite an apt symbol for God or source or universe or whatever word you use. And ideals. And if you break up ideals, i.e. perfection, into sort of the little steps that we try to make towards that, then they would represent goals. 1 is about individuality, uniqueness, creativity. The more you take your own individual path, the more creative you're going to be. It can also indicate a selfish attitude to the subject matter of the dream. For example, it might be being inconsiderate to others. That's less common, but mostly it's going to be about your individuality. Number 2, balance. So balance, sharing, give and take, two-way communication. And if you see the number 2 connected to something of value, then it will be about a channeling or a mediumship gift. Because 2s crop up all the time for channels. all over the place in their dreams. And so, so it's a good indicator that the dreamer is a channel or a medium. It's also good to find another symbol in the dream just to confirm that, though. Oopsie, wrong one. Let's just go back one. Yeah, 2 is a feminine number. So we're looking at the feminine aspects, such as forgiveness, letting go, and it's often in dreams about relationships. And you might see other symbols such as pairs of things cropping up in those dreams, pairs of socks or pairs of shoes, that kind of thing. 2 women ahead of you in a queue would symbolize that your mother always put herself before you when you were the age of 2. So this dream would also show the dreamer is most likely a channel as well. And lastly, for number 2, it can be a pun on too quiet, or you're being too assertive, or that kind of thing. Number 3 represents mind, body, and soul. And so in dreams, it is usually means commitment. And it's asking you to commit to something that's been shown in the dream. It's interestingly, it's often in dreams about the heart. Because if you think of a 3, it's actually an 8 that's been sort of split down the middle, broken. So someone who has suppressed their feelings, perhaps closed off their feelings, will often lack passion and commitment for pursuing new directions in their life. And so lastly, number 3 can be symbolized by a triangle or a pyramid to indicate that meditation is needed or is being recommended by the dream. Number 4, limitation. A box has 4 sides, and this is usually about how we're restricting or limiting ourselves through choices that we're making between head and the heart. 4s come up quite a lot, as you'll see. Number 5. Now, number 5 symbolizes the karmic path. And the karmic path is all about how we learn our life lessons through our 5 senses. It's a male energy approach to life. So we're actually being affected from the outside, and we're learning lessons from the situations that we find ourselves in, sometimes repeatedly. Also, number 5, karmic path, you can find other symbols for the karmic path, such as cars. Driving a car to your mother's house, for example, would be a pun on the word car to Mars, house, karma. If you find yourself in rocky terrain or trying to go up a steep hill in a car, that is also indicating that you are on the karmic path, and that the message of the dream is an important part of that learning process. Number 6, Christ consciousness. And this is the awareness of the presence of God at the heart of everything in creation. So we're talking really about love, forgiveness, compassion, and the dharmic path, because this is a feminine number. And in Sanskrit, dharma means soul's purpose. It's tapping into what makes you who you are, finding your core values, and serving the world with your authentic self. And usually 6 comes up as a request to go beyond your 5 senses and develop love and compassion within yourself. If you get the number 6 coming up in a dream, it's not very common at all, and you can be pretty sure that you're on the right path, thinking and following your intuition the right way when this comes up in the dream. It doesn't come up very easily, so it's quite exciting when it does. For this number, issues with mother are the most influential on feminine energy, and the dharmic path is all about feminine energy. So if you see the number 6, so the next part is that if you see number 6 in a negative context, for example, number 6 is branded to your legs, then that negative context will mean it will be a reference to you at the age of 6, having received some kind of conditioning, some kind of trauma. And finally, you know you're on the dharmic path if you have dreams which have short journeys with illogical connections, crazy rides and fun fairs, carnivals, moving, usually signifying that you're moving from the karmic to the dharmic path. And you need to trust that your path will work out, even if it's totally illogical. Number 7, very easy one, this. The 7th chakra is at the crown of the head. And that is all about our connection with spirit. It's about spiritual enlightenment, about growing in awareness to realize the reality of life. Number 8. 8's a good number. It's about limitless expansion via balance of the heart. And so it can represent the heart, it can represent the circulatory system. And again, if it was representing the circulatory system, you would be looking for other symbols which were perhaps indicating some kind of, if it's a physical dream, or you would be looking for something, some kind of damage to, like a fire hearth. That would be a pun on the word hearth or heart. But yes, 8, all about the heart and expansion. Number 9. This is super, super cool to see in a dream. And it's the potential for the last necessary Earth incarnation. You know, we come here to Earth many, many times. I mean, we're talking hundreds of times in most cases. And we're always trying to learn new ways to increase our awareness and to grow and to become more spiritually aware. And to recognize our true nature. And 9 reminds the dreamer that this is potentially their last necessary Earth life. And it's a reminder that they need to follow their life purpose, what they actually planned before they came to Earth to carry out on Earth and to learn. So at that point, when you've carried out your life purpose, then all karma will be repaid and all the lessons offered by the Earth School can be learned. So 9s are not very common, and they indicate the dreamer is naturally drawn to the spiritual side of life. Finally, number 10 is understandably about completion of a stage of life most often. And a couple of other numbers just to pop in here. Number 12, a judgmental attitude, because there are 12 members on a jury. And number 21 is all about coming of age. So it's time for the dreamer to do something regarding their life purpose. So a lot of information there, I realize, but it's nice to have a kind of reference as to what numbers can mean in dreams. And let's have a look now at how numbers can be combined together. And this is for you to have a little fun, to see if you can work out what these combinations mean. So let's start off with the number 285. I was saying to Leanne earlier, I feel a bit like a kind of bingo caller here. Number 285. So 285, I'll just go back to the previous slide. See if you can work out what 285 is talking about. Any ideas? Feel free to unmute or pop your answers in the chat, whatever you fancy. 285. So we've got balance, sharing, give and take. We've got limitless expansion of the balance of the heart. And we've got karmic path. So you may have got an idea. So 285, it's all about balanced sharing of feelings. And that this is an important path of the dreamer's karmic path. And the karmic path is all about inner growth through often repeating external experiences. So the dream is asking them to share their feelings, to listen to others' feelings and to share how they are feeling as well. Let's try another one. Number 41. So do you remember what 4 meant? 4 is all about restriction. Let's take a look. Limitation. And 1 is about individuality. You probably get this one pretty quickly. Any ideas?
Is it being unique, being sort of different from other people?
Yeah, absolutely. The dream is saying that the dreamer is limiting their individuality. And they need to be themselves. Don't copy other people's way of doing something. Do it your way. That's what that number combination would be telling us. Thank you. How about number 11? Now, this one's a sneaky one, because not only is it 1-1, so it's like individuality, be yourself, but also you can look at it and go, hang on, there are 2 ones here. So it's like the dream is emphasizing be yourself, but it's also emphasizing the number 2. And we noted that number 2 can come up a lot for two-way communication, for channels, for mediums. And so this number 11, is actually saying that channeling or mediumship is the dreamer's individual path. And if you notice that the wands are sort of like that, and that's like a channel. So it's almost like they're doing a pun on the actual symbol itself. Number 36. What do you reckon? Number 36. Come in, number 36. Your time is up. We've got commitment, and we've got Christ consciousness, Dharma, love, compassion.
Be a religious leader.
Be a religious leader. Possibly. Any other ideas? So, yeah, the dream is asking the dreamer to commit to the dharmic aspects of life, to develop love, to develop compassion, to develop forgiveness, and really to move into the heart and to develop these. It's just asking for commitment. It's interesting, though, that number 36 doesn't often come up in another context, and it can also be a pun. 36 on dirty sex, believe it or not. And this would indicate that the dreamer is conditioned to view sex as dirty. Now, if the number 36 came up in a bedroom, for the context, let's say, then that would be the obvious interpretation of that number 36. Fantastic. Okay, so few number combinations. It's time to actually dive into some dreams now. So let's, oh yes, context is important. Yeah. So let's dive into some dreams. Here we go. The Indian women. And this is taken from Michael Sheridan's Dream Interpretation podcast. So it goes, I'm on the outside. I'm looking at 3 Indian women dressed in beautiful baby blue clothing, nice and silky, satiny. I'm in pain and they are ignoring me. And the woman dreamer who submitted this dream was very upset about the dream. And it was actually on the phone in, I think. So it was a live interpretation. So what have we got? We've got 3 women. And what did we say about how numbers were often used?
Your age.
Yeah, absolutely. To indicate the age at which we had some kind of childhood trauma or something negatively impacted us. So it's taking the dreamer back to her childhood at the age of 3, or even 3 months old, it could be. And we can see that the women are ignoring the dreamer. So at that age, she didn't get the attention from her mum that she needed. The Indian reference here is saying that this is part of the dreamer's life path, or the karmic path. And the reason for that is because karma comes from the Sanskrit, I believe, and that is obviously from the Indian subcontinent. And so that's why dreams reference Indian, and that's why the symbol or the archetype for karmic path is Indian. We see the dreamer is on the outside. So this experience has made her look at life as if she's on the outside. And people who experience this most likely see the distinctiveness in other people. And they might have a poor bond with the earth plane. So they've got sort of they got 1 foot in the spirit world, and so they have other abilities. and they're likely to have a counseling gift as well. We also see that there is some baby blue clothing here, and baby blue is healing, is given by the dream to help the dreamer feel more positive. Blue is a philosophy of life, and obviously we've got baby blue, so it's trying to help the dreamer feel more positive about her childhood. And for this dreamer, one therapy that is very effective is to cut the ties with her mum, and that would be a very healing therapy for this dreamer, as her mum is coming up in symbolic form. Let's go to another. My friend's brother. I'm looking for my friend's brother in busy bars. I know he will look after me, but every time I get to him, we are both interrupted or distracted by others. I end up leaving town on a bus with either my best friend or my husband, and then a woman sitting in front of us tells us that she won £1,000 in the lottery, and she shows the winning numbers, and they're mostly low, like 7 and 9. So the first thing, just to, on the outset, just to look at, try and find the subject matter of this dream, is we see brother who would look after me, and we see husband. So the dream here is that the subject matter is asking the dreamer to reconnect or heal some kind of masculine aspect. And that masculine aspect is most likely the dreamer's ability to keep her individuality when around others. You know, she's in busy bars, so busy bars going to be lots and lots of people there, and the possibility of sort of losing yourself there. But then we see the numbers. So we've got £1,000 here. Any ideas? 1,000. What could that mean? What did the zeros mean? Can you remember? That perfect symbol. Oh, I think somebody's on mute.
Right. The ideal situation.
The ideal situations, great, yeah. Or goals, absolutely. Trying to get to those ideal situations. So we've got the 1 as well. So we've got individuality, individual path, and it's giving permission to the dreamer to focus on their individuality, saying, it's okay to be yourself. This is your goal. And of course, you notice there are 3 zeros. And number 3 is about commitment. So it's asking the dreamer to commit to their individuality. We got a lottery as well. Well, what happens in a lottery? Well, hopefully you win the lottery. So the symbol of the lottery here is saying that reconnecting, this is the subject matter of the dream, reconnecting with their masculine side, this masculine aspect of themselves, will pay dividends. Then we've got the 2 numbers 7 and 9. And the 7 here is the spiritual number. It's about connecting with the spirit. And it's really saying here that the dreamer is meant to be working in the spiritual field. And we've got that magic number 9, very unusual. And it's saying that if the dreamer accomplishes what she came here to do, then this would be her last necessary earth life, unless she wants to come back and help out, as many higher vibration beings do, such as guides and angels. So that's that one. Let's keep going. Envelope of cash. In my red car, my mother was driving, and I was in the passenger seat. She handed me a distinctly white envelope with my name written on the front center. I opened the envelope and counted $260, all in $20 bills. I double checked to make sure it was 260 and not 250. And to my delight, it was indeed 260. So the thing which really stands out here is all of the 2s that come up in this dream. 2s everywhere. And 2s are about that give and take, but also about the 2-way communication. So they're very important for indicating that the dreamer is a channel or a medium. bringing information from the spirit world to the earth and back to the spirit world. So it's pretty likely that this dreamer is a channel, and that this dream is about her channeling ability. We see an envelope, and envelopes are, what happens with an envelope? It's something you put a letter in and you send that letter. So it's about communication again, about channeling. Envelopes are a classic symbol for channeling, such as letters. So that backs up the twos in the dream. We've got $260. So developing this ability is going to put her on the dharmic path. The dharmic path represented by the number 6, that's all about moving into the heart. And this is her goal, that's the 0. We've got the 260, so channeling with the 2, dharmic path with the 6, and the goal. We see a red car. The dream is asking her to put joy and passion, that's the red. And you can always check the mini dream workshop we had on colors to check out how colors work. But the dream's asking her to put joy and passion into that goal. And we've got mother was driving, and we've got the white envelope. So the white envelope is representing a critical attitude about the dreamer's channeling. She probably doesn't think she's good enough. And this was most likely picked up from her mother, who is influencing her direction in life because her mother is driving the car. And at this point, it's interesting to note that the dreamer was actually following a therapy called cutting the ties at this point with her mother at the time of dreaming. So it's still bringing up the fact that there is conditioning from her mother. So the dreamer would have to continue with that therapy and to see it through. Great. Okay. Midnight delivery. And our doorbell rings just after midnight. I go downstairs, groping my way in the dark, naked. I open the door, but there's a security chain on it, which first needs unlatching. I discover 3 huge bouquets of flowers and a very tall and thin fir tree. We bring the flowers inside, and I take the tree around the side of the house. Okay. Doorbell ringing in dreams. Perfect. Brilliant sign. It's about the dreamer has been asked to open the door on an opportunity. It's a really positive symbol. So that's really cool. It's going downstairs. And so that often means to come into the heart, to go down into the heart, from the mind into the heart, sharing feelings, opening the heart. Unfortunately, the dreamer is in the dark about what this opportunity will be. That's often what in the dark means. And the dreamer is naked. And so really, this is just a request for the dreamer to be themselves, not to hide himself. But he opens the door, hooray! And that's great because it means he's willing to actually accept the opportunity. Unfortunately, there's a security chain on it, so the dreamer does tend to try and protect himself. So the dream is saying, don't need to protect yourself. Be yourself, be open, show your true self. And then we have some numbers, 3 huge bouquets of flowers. So 3 here stands for, drum roll.
Commitment.
Commitment. Yay, absolutely. Dream is saying, please commit to something. And we see the flowers. Flowers are about love. So it's about being asked to commit to letting love, the flowers, into his heart. And finally, we got this fir tree. It's very tall. And if you Google fir tree and you look up Wikipedia, it says that the name is derived from the Latin to rise. And this is in reference to the height of the species of the fir tree. So what the dream is saying is that this is going to raise the dreamer's vibration. If he can move into his heart, be himself, and not be afraid, don't try to protect himself, then he's going to raise his vibration. Last couple of dreams, and we might have just a few minutes just to have any questions if you've got any. Okay, so small spiders were on my jumper, so I started to pick them off and throw them away. One of the spiders I threw landed on a wall and turned into a black octopus, which was moving around the wall. Nice. The spiders were small and brown and were like ticks, so I had to rip them off. I remember the room being dark. So at first glance with this dream, we don't see any numbers, and we're kind of going, well, how can this be a number dream? But we see an octopus. And we're also talking about spiders. So both of these have got 8 legs. So the number 8 comes up, and 8 is about limitless expansion through balancing the heart. And do you know that octopi have 3 hearts as well? I thought that was so cool when I heard it. 3 hearts. So in that one symbol, we have 8 and 3. We've got a request to commit to balancing the heart, that give and take of feelings, of sharing of feelings. We also have a wall in this dream, and walls are often about the heart, typically about being closed emotionally, not wanting to share feelings for fear of being hurt. That's why we put the wall up. So it's another heart symbol, and so we know the subject matter is about opening the heart or sharing feelings. We've got those small spiders. Spiders are usually about irrational fears that the dreamer picked up. Now, small refers to the fact that the dreamer picked it up when she was a child, because you were small when you were a child. And they are like bugs. So this is bugging the dreamer. This is, this is bugging the dreamer. We've got some colors here. We've got brown mixed with black, and that suggests a fear of losing material things. And it's an irrational fear as seen from a spiritual perspective, which often becomes a denial of the spiritual dimension. Because if you're really fearful of losing material things, you're going to try and hold on to them more and more. It's because you don't think there's anything more than that. You don't think there's a spiritual realm or dimension. Whoopsie. So the dreamer has fears about sharing her feelings when it comes to the material world and possibly the spiritual dimension. She's been asked to open her heart and share her feelings. Last one, really quick one now. I love this dream. This is a fabulous dream. In my dream, the number 9999 came up, followed by being given a phone. I was apprehensive as I didn't want to call the police by mistake. Oh no. The 9 is such a positive number. It's not very common to see. It indicates the potential to be the dreamer's last necessary Earth incarnation. And it's like a reminder to say to the dreamer, okay, keep going with your life purpose, because this could be your last necessary incarnation that you need. But we've got 4 9s. So at this point in time, the dream is saying that the dreamer is limiting her potential somehow. Now, if you were phoning 999, that would be phoning the emergency services or the police. And we do have that police symbol here. So police in dreams represents guides, our spirit guides. So we can see the subject of this dream is really about connecting to spirit guides, to channeling. And the dreamer is apprehensive. And we can see that she doesn't want to call the police by mistake. She's worried about bothering the police, perhaps unnecessarily. But guides never feel bothered by us, and they delight in connecting with us and helping us. And when I discussed this dream with the dreamer, she explained that she had a little blip where she was holding back on the channeling front, but that she is now in full bother of guides mode. So that's fantastic. Really pleased to hear that. Okay, so numbers in dreams. Dreams offer us guidance and healing. That's what's on the menu when we have dreams. And numbers can offer us really useful clues to work out what that guidance and healing is. Look at the context, try and link the numbers to the context. They often indicate our age, and combinations are really useful too. If you need some help understanding your dream, then please feel free to visit oliverwedgwood.com, and I'll get right back to you. You can submit your dream there. And unfortunately, we've kind of reached the end of our time limit for today. But if you've got any questions that you'd like to ask, then I'll be popping this up onto YouTube. Pop them up in the chat on YouTube, and I'll get right back to you on those. So thank you so much for coming today. Thank you for your contributions, and I hope you've enjoyed it and that you've got a few more useful tools in the toolkit of interpreting your dreams. I very much look forward to seeing you at our next mini dreams workshop. And until then, I wish you all the best, and I will see you soon. See you soon. Bye.